We said it was 70 years ago tonight when a group of young men climbed aboard an aircraft, one of thousands that would fill the sky. It took them over these shores on a flight into history and secured their place in what Tom Brokaw would later famously call the greatest generation. Tonight, Tom is back here in Normandy with us with a couple of those veterans and, remarkably, the veteran aircraft itself.
As long as there have been planes in the sky, there have been young men yearning to fly.
I saw Charles Lindbergh come down Central Avenue in Panama City.
I had fell in love with Barney Baxter, which was a comic in the paper.
And more women began to hear the call.
My brother started taking lessons before me, but I asked my dad if I could.
Across generations, they share a bond with another veteran, returning at long last to Normandy, a C-47 Skytrain Dakota called Whiskey 7. One of the very few planes remaining from the airborne assault on Nazi-occupied Europe. 70 years ago, Bud Rice was an experienced pilot, 1,800 hours in the cockpit. He was as ready as he'd ever be. At 2:15 a.m. on June 6th, it was time to go.
When you flew into the fog bank, a little panic in your mind at that point?
Yes, but fortunately the training kicks in. You know, you're scared, but you're focused on the instruments.
Leslie Cruz, who became a paratrooper when colorblindness ruled out flying, was ready as well.
The green light went on and boom, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The faster you could count it, we went out.
D-Day and the long, grueling months that followed took an enormous toll on Rice and Cruz, buddies who didn't make it back.
You remember the faces of the friends you lost?
I do. Yeah, I do that very, very well.
Cruz's war ended when his right hand was shattered during the Battle of the Bulge. Rice piloted Whiskey 7 over the Rhine into Germany. Both returned home and, like so many, simply got on with their lives. But they never forgot Whiskey 7. After a careful restoration by the National Warplane Museum in upstate New York, Whiskey 7 hopscotched across the Atlantic to join the returning vets.
To be one of the pilots flying a piece of living history, that just gives me goosebumps whenever I talk about it.
In Cherbourg today, it was time for Rice and Cruz to be reunited with an old friend, flying over the beaches and the towns that they had liberated. And for a few thrilling moments, Bud took control of Whiskey 7.
Who thought 70 years later I'd still be in an airplane that I'd flown so long ago.
Veterans all, together again.